Morning from the garden. Spring is on the horizon, so today we are going to spend time planting, pruning, and prepping for the upcoming season. I prepped our flower beds a few weeks ago as soon as the weather started to warm up, and I did a mix of just standard garden soil, some organic mushroom compost, and then I topped the beds with some Happy Frog soil. And as soon as I got the chance, I planted some zinnias, some sunflowers, some cosmos. When I'm planting a mix of different seeds, I love to pour them out on a plate so you can just easily pluck each one you want out and kind of mix up where you want to put them. I find this much more efficient than trying to squeeze your garden glove into the small seed packets. It also is really cute too and makes it more fun. I've been in denial a little bit and I'm still holding out hope, but this is what our bougainvillea looks like after we had a fluke freeze a few weeks ago. It was really cold for our climate, so pretty much all of our tropical and native plants are incredibly stressed out and damaged. And again, I'm holding on to hope, so I'm going to keep saying that and hoping that they'll recover and bounce back, but I really don't know that to be certain. So fingers crossed. Basically, my plan of action for now is to just give them rest, let them try to recover, and then I'll prune them in probably about another month, but it could take a year or even more for the plants to kind of regain their strength and continue to grow like they were. So I'll insert just some footage of our bougainvillea a month ago before the frost because she was looking so beautiful, better than she ever has. I've been growing this bougainvillea for 4 years now, and it almost reached the end of the trellis, the arched trellis, but you know, we have a little setback, a big setback. So that's definitely a bummer. And then all of our palm trees, the fronds are just completely burnt to a crisp from the freeze, as well as our hibiscus, our ficus. So I'm definitely bummed about that, but that is gardening in a nutshell. You know, nature's elements will throw you curveballs throughout the process. But again, I'm really just trying to hold out to hope. I haven't fertilized them either because pruning and fertilizing can apparently add additional stress after they experience a freeze like this. So again, I've just been letting them relax and recover. I have applied worm castings, which is essentially just worm poop, and just for extra vitamins, just a little bit here and there. But other than that, I'm just checking every day for new growth and praying that they will make a recovery. And here are the palm trees, not looking too cheerful, are they? I was trying to think, like, is there really anything I could have done? Because you know, you try to cover the plants with cloth and there's all these tricks, but I would have had to cover our whole garden because I really lean into our tropical climate and try to plant, you know, different species that correlate with that, but we definitely got that a major curveball with that frost. So we just gotta move forward, I suppose. And I am always amazed at how quickly things grow in our spring and summer season when we have those constant rain showers and that gorgeous, hot, humid weather. So maybe they'll recuperate even faster than I'm thinking. We'll see. We'll hope for the best. Here's one of our hibiscus. It's dropping all of its leaves, and I did notice a little growth back here, which I believe is connected to the root system of the hibiscus. So I'm hoping that's a good sign. I mean, it definitely is a good sign. I'm just hoping it'll persevere. And this one I call my mermaid hibiscus. It is so gorgeous. I'll insert some footage of what it typically looks like. And you can see some green leaves at the base here. So again, that is definitely a good sign. This one over here is giving me zero signs of hope, but we'll give her time.
I just wanna go out and walk with you. Baby, you know I just like to talk with you. You don't have to tell me anything that's new. I just wanna go out and walk with you. I just wanna see your shadow next to mine, sailing over pavement with our 2 arms. I like to see the shape you're in from time to time. I just wanna see your shadow next to mine. I just wanna see the same things you can see, understand the meaning on a new degree.
The constant sound of lawn equipment is my arch nemesis. I just want to hear the birds.
I just wanna see.
Speaking of lawn, I've been trying to keep you updated on our low maintenance ground cover journey, which, you know, it has been a journey and it still is a journey. We ended up planting some ryegrass seeds for winter, and that actually has been wonderful to just help this patch be more green and less dirt, especially with our dog and our toddler. It just kind of helps keep things a little more tidy. We love playing in the dirt, but you know, it's nice to have some grass to sort of wash it down with. So we'll see. The ryegrass is not going to last in summer, I don't think. I mean, we've never tried it, but allegedly it is not going to make it in the hot Florida climate. So we'll see, but it's quite beautiful and hairy and kind of whimsical looking, and we've been enjoying it. And then someone gave me the fabulous idea to try chamomile as a ground cover, and I absolutely want to do that. I've grown chamomile before and it always just stayed low and green and it smelled absolutely wonderful. So I want to try that. Maybe we could carve out a patch of grass and try that today. Our dahlia seeds that we started inside about a month ago are thankfully getting stronger and stronger. So I'm just going to keep tabs on them, let them mature a bit more, and then we'll plant them throughout the garden. Since this is my first year with the dahlias, I'm going to try different spots throughout our backyard to see where they like it the best. And we have a heart-shaped leaf right here. How sweet is that? That's got to be a good sign.
I just wanna see the same things you can see.
In this bed here, we had our Seminole pumpkins growing. So today I'm gonna pull out all the vines. I feel like they go really, really deep within the soil, so I'm a little nervous. I might have my work cut out for me, but it was worth it because I love the Seminole pumpkins. I think I will end up growing them again in the fall time, planting them around August. They are a brilliant variety, perfect for the Central Florida area. It's a native species and we love the taste of them. They kind of taste like butternut squash pumpkins, and they last a while in the pantry, over a year even. So they're a really, really great crop, and it's just so neat to have your own little personal pumpkin patch. but we're switching things up, and for spring and summertime we are gonna grow Blacktail Mountain watermelon. This is a smaller species of watermelon that works great in hot climates. They actually are a good option too if you have a shorter summer season, but I chose them due to the smaller size because I'm going to try to trellis them like I did the pumpkins. That way we can try to grow more because this is a smaller space. And then it's only 75 days to maturity, which is pretty great and pretty quick. They grow quite rapidly, so I'm hopeful. I experienced quite a bit of pests with our pumpkins. I had a major pickleworm infestation, which was my first time where I had to utilize some organic pest control, which I didn't love, but I was left with no other option unless I wanted to just surrender all my pumpkins. So that was a big learning experience, but hoping for smooth sailing with our watermelon. Watermelon is just the epitome of summertime, and I'm giddy at the thought of growing our own. In this bed, we have our butter crunch lettuce growing nicely. I've been harvesting it every single day to make some fresh garden salads, which is just so glorious. It's my favorite type of lettuce. So I'm gonna let this keep rocking and rolling for as long as possible. We might only have about a month left before it gets too hot for the lettuce, but we'll see. I could be surprised. But I'm going to use this half of the bed and plant some cucumbers so we can make some homemade pickles. This is the variety I got. I love to get our seeds from Southern Seed Exposure. It's a fabulous option for anyone gardening in the southeast region of our states. And in this bed we have our kale growing. It's also cut and come again like our lettuce, so we're able to harvest it, and it's the gift that keeps on giving. And eventually this will hopefully turn into a kale tree. It's nicknamed dinosaur kale because it can get really, really large. So I'm hopeful that will be the scenario. And then we have our herbs over here. We have basil, Greek oregano, parsley, and these will be able to take me through hopefully summer. The parsley starts to struggle a little bit in the summer in the intense heat, but the basil and Greek oregano perform really nicely, and we use these all the time for cooking, so that's also great. And then over here, I'm gonna plant jalapeno and habanero peppers. The amount of joy our spring fresh cut flower beds bring me is immeasurable. I'm so excited. Here I'm gonna grow zinnias, of course, cosmos, strawflower, and sunflowers, a little bit of everything. And what's great is a lot of these varieties are cut and come again. Zinnias are our tried and true. I always recommend planting zinnias if you're growing flowers for the first time. They're so incredibly rewarding and beautiful. The butterflies love them, and they have a really long vase life too, so once you do cut them, they're gorgeous in a vase in your home, bringing so much color and life. So highly recommend the zinnias, but of course we like to try new things as well. The cosmos are also wonderful for the pollinators, and they're edible, so if you're making some fun spring dishes, this is a really fun flower to grow. And then sunflowers, always so cheerful. Strawflowers are also gorgeous, and they dry out so nicely for a variety of different crafts or to make a flower arrangement more textured. It's just wonderful. So I actually already planted some zinnia and cosmos seeds a few weeks ago on our last frost date, but then we did have another cold snap a couple days ago, and I used my son's little stacking toys to create little mini greenhouses over the seedlings, and thankfully, miraculously, they survived. So grateful for that, but we'll fill in the gaps on any little empty pockets where we can squeeze in some more seeds. And then I'm also going to plant these marigolds. I create a sort of marigold moat with these. The bunnies don't like them, so that helps them not eat my seedlings. And they also help keep mosquitoes away, so that's a huge plus. It's quite the windy day, so I'm hopeful you'll even be able to hear anything I'm saying. I have the mic on, so fingers crossed. Mint also acts as a natural mosquito repellent. this cute little bamboo flower tent I made for our son last spring, but clearly the vines have bit the dust during the freeze. So I think I'm going to switch it out and plant some passion flower, which I actually have some potted passion flower over here that unfortunately took a hit from the freeze, but it's starting to grow some little sprouts, so it'll come back, and then I'll probably plant some more because it's a really beautiful vine and it's just never lasted long in our garden because it is a host plant to numerous butterflies, one being the Gulf fritillary butterflies that absolutely devoured it last spring. So we had a lot of those beautiful butterflies, and then it's also a host plant for the zebra longwing, which is Florida's state butterfly. So I would love to see more of those in our garden. So I'm hoping to grow some more passion flower, and I think that'll complement the bamboo tent quite nicely. The flowers are just stunning, so I'm excited to show you those. And then on the little pathway, I planted some cosmo seeds. This pumpkin, not gonna make it. This pumpkin will make it though. Cutie, it'll just ripen up a bit. One learning I had when I planted our pumpkins here is that I wish I had only planted 2 pumpkin seeds opposed to the 6 that I did plant, because they were all competing for nutrients and soil and space. And the Seminole pumpkins have a high germination rate, and so do the watermelon. So it says 99% germination rate, which means that 99% of the seeds will come into fruition. So I'm just gonna plant 2 and see what happens. You tell him. You tell him, my little gardener. Let's see. 1 inch deep. Go, watermelon, go. I moved over my lettuce that was in this little section of this bed, and I'm gonna plant our cucumber pickles here, our cucumbers that'll make homemade pickles, and I'm gonna train them along this side of the trellis. Mama's gonna grow some cucumbers. I'm gonna do our little chamomile ground cover experiment in this patch right here. We'll see what happens. Chamomile seeds are so tiny, so it's funny to try to plant them. I made this solar powered fountain back in 2022, so it's been with us for a while and it definitely needs a little rejuvenation. I haven't tidied it up in a long time. I've actually been kind of avoiding it because I'm a little nervous to open it and find some sort of creature in there because it's been so long. But we got to do it. I want to get it up and running again. I originally made it for the butterflies because it's great for pollinators to have a natural water source. So I definitely want to make that available. And it's also beautiful ambiance for us. So definitely want to get it going and hopefully it'll work okay still. I feel bad I've neglected it for so long. I brought out a toothbrush, one of our little cleaning toothbrushes. So I might need to use that to clean up all the nooks and crannies. Our aloe has been going strong and I absolutely love it. I need to remember to harvest it more, especially during the fall and winter time. I harvest it more frequently in the summer and spring and apply it to our skin after a day in the sun, but it has so many different medicinal properties. One of my friends, she actually eats aloe, which I'm not brave enough to do yet, but maybe I'll get there soon. And you can even blend it up in smoothies and whatnot. So I need to do more research, but that's really neat. Ours is getting ready to bloom again too. Okay, the aloe is nice and cozy in there, so I'm just gonna leave it and I'm going to go through the bucket, the fountain bucket, clean it out, hopefully get it operating again. I am nervous that there's some sort of leak, but we'll see, we'll take a look. And then I will just expand on the soil and then plant some fresh little succulents and try to revitalize some of our other plants and then prune up this aloe around the base. I'm gonna save this one, harvest it. Okay, here we go. Oh my. Scary in here. Oof. Wells's Mud Kitchen Supplies is actually coming in handy. I'm gonna use this strainer to clean out the rocks. Now I'm just gonna hose all the parts down and use my toothbrush to clean it up, and then we'll fill it up with some fresh water and see if it'll run okay. Oh, I'm so relieved. Oh my goodness, yeah, I missed it. Oh, how lovely is that? Okay, so I'm gonna situate it back in the planter, and then I'm gonna source some thicker rocks to put around it instead of the littler pebbles, because I feel like that'll help the situation a little bit, because even if my little toddler isn't placing them in the middle of the fountain, they're still more likely to get stuck in the little bits and bobs. So hopefully that will help, and we'll just stay more on top of it. To propagate a succulent, you just take a little piece off of it. These just fell off as I was transplanting them, and then you just place them to the soil and then they'll start propagating. It's as simple as that. And of course, I feel like this one goes without saying, but we'll plant our native milkweed throughout the garden, wherever we see a spot, every little nook and cranny. The milkweed will reseed itself too, so it's fun to see where it will pop up. And if you didn't know, milkweed is monarch's host plant. So if you want to see some beautiful monarch butterflies in your garden, definitely plant some native milkweed and see the awe of it all, the caterpillars, the chrysalis, the butterflies. It's just so inspiring, and I'm giddy about all the life that is to come this springtime and all the blooms. Thank you for watching this video and joining me for this pre-spring adventure. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your winter season and a wonderful start to the spring season, and I'm excited to see you next. Bye!